Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome back to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Fan Social, your fifth serving of the Kings of Anglia podcast this week. We have been spoiling you. Hope you've enjoyed all the podcasts, and this is the final one before the big game against Plymouth this weekend. Paul Mariner Day. It's going to be a great day. I'm joined by three fine gentlemen to talk all things town. We've got good old Matt Makin, Tom Baines, and Steve is with us this week. I'm going to go straight over to you, Matt. Not going to muck about. We're going to get right into this podcast. How are you, my friend? I saw you on Saturday. I saw you on Sunday. How's your week been?
Yeah, well, it's just been a bit of a rest. 2 days of football, and it was early. I stayed over in Oxford on Saturday night after the game with some friends, so it was an early set off Sunday morning to get to the Gold Star in time, and it was beautiful to see. I got there at 11:15, and there was already a queue to get in when the turnstiles opened at 11. That was glorious.
It was lovely to see, the fans queuing up for that big quarterfinal for the women's side. We're going to briefly talk about it later. Of course, it's a double header this weekend. Both town sides, the women's side and the men's side, are both playing Plymouth. One at Port Road and one at the Gold Star ground. But look forward to that. Bainesy, you're back for another week. You won one game day on Saturday, and this beard of yours, oh my days, my friend. Some people say I've got a good beard, but this beard is a different level, top tier level. If you're watching on video, you'll see. But Bainesy, how are you, my friend?
Very good. I had the pleasure of seeing you twice in 1 week, the ladies' game against Cardiff, and then unfortunately the Oxford game. The beard situation is going pretty well. I think I need to take a ancestry test to see if I might be part Viking or part Norse. I don't know, but yeah, glad to be back in very good company.
Indeed, and if you're watching on video, I'm trying to change my light here because I just look so bright. Every time I come close, it just makes it bright. But enough of that. Steve is joining us for his second appearance. His last appearance, unfortunately, got ruined because of internet issues. But he's told me it's all sorted. He's in the doghouse here. But how are you, Steve?
Yeah, not too bad, Ross. Thanks. I am in a doghouse. I've got an Ethernet cable draped right the way through my house so that I got proper internet. But yeah, I'm all right. I was at Oxford on Saturday took my two girls to see the match there. Gutted about that result, but yeah, not a bad week. Been looking forward to this evening, so looking forward to chatting town. Got a lot of topics to go through, so yeah, it should be good fun.
It shall be, and we've got a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to ignore the Oxford game. It happened, 1-1 draw, of course, late equaliser. But enough about that. Let's talk about two players who are on loan, and I've been wanting to do this for a while on the Fan Social, talking about the loan players. Of course, Christian Walton is our player now, signed permanently in January. Bersant Celina, and of course, Macauley, Bonne are on loan. Of course, we've got Dominic Thompson and Tyrick Baxton, of course, on loan as well. But I think the main focus is the forward line. Bersant Celina, who is what a player he is. It's still unbelievable that we got him in League One. Of course, Macauley Bonne, a bit of a bad spell at the moment without scoring goals, but he's looking likely he'll be the leading man up front for the coming games because Kane Jack's injury and Joe Piggott's been starting but not been able to produce on the pitch, unfortunately. But Matt, Bersant Celina, Macauley Bonne, would you sign him permanently?
Oh, now that is a question. Now I've probably got a different answer to if you had asked me a couple of months ago, because I think I'm on the record. At least one of the times I've been on this Fan Social saying, "Oh, I love Celina, but he's a luxury, and I don't know if we can afford him." But actually, he's kind of under McKenna, same as a lot of players really. He's coming to his own, and without harping on too much about last weekend, he showed that again on Saturday, and he's actually come out and said he wants to actually come back here permanently. Now, whether that is feasible, whether that's financially feasible, and the name of is it Dijon? We've got him on loan from, isn't it? Yeah, to be fair, I know very little about the French league outside of PSG, but I get the impression from listening to various commentary that they're not exactly any great shakes. But whether we're going to be able to afford him and afford his wages, and certainly with the sort of the FFP cap, as it looks like we're going to be spending another season in the third tier. I don't know, but actually, yeah, he's another one that he seems to suit what McKenna's doing. Bonne, if you'd asked me at the start of the season, yeah, hands down, I got absolutely caught up in it. It's great. Local boy made good, scoring goals for fun. That hilarious bit of panto with the Sheffield Wednesday keeper. It's already plastered up on the back of the North Stand now. Fantastic. You say he's gone through a real rough patch, and that's he's obviously been affected by he's had things going on off the pitch. That goal's coming soon, like you say. He's got another opportunity now. With it's such a shame Jackson being out, well, probably for the rest of the season now, because he's been coming on really well under McKenna. But it does give Bonne this opportunity to maybe sort of get back to his best. I'm still in two minds now whether to sign him, because I'm long term, does he fit in what McKenna's going to want to do? We don't really know what. I mean, we know what McKenna's side looks like at the moment, but do we know is he going to want to stick with this system once he's had the summer to have a proper pre-season with them and get the players that he wants? I don't know. My heart says I'd love to sign him just because it's a bit of a fairy tale for him, really, isn't it? But I don't know. Joe Pigot's still here on a 3-year contract, and he's not going to move on straight away. If he does go, it's a tough one. I think there's potential with Bonne, and I still think maybe we should look into signing him. It's nice to have these headaches, but yeah, I'd like to keep him. I think there's still a long-term prospect in there. We're going to lose Norwood. He's not staying. I think Jackson's done enough to get a contract. Piggott, I don't know if it's going to work out. I think it's no criticism of him as a player. He's obviously a good player. He's shown that at Wimbledon last season, but for whatever reason, it's not clicking here. And obviously, he's had off the pitch stuff with his father passing away, so it could just be one of these cases where it's better for all parties for him to move on. So he might go. But then again, McKenna might have some other names that we haven't even thought about on this list yet. It's not. It's weird because it's nice in a way to have this problem of, do we sign what we've got, or it's just knowing that we might actually have a decent plan in place this summer. It makes me hesitant to answer the question properly and commit to it.
That's fine. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting sort of. I think that is the position. A lot of Town fans will be interested to see what's going to happen, because I think the forward line is where Kieran McKenna will strengthen in. Bainesy, over to you then. Your thoughts on this? Bersant Celina, permanent player in League One, will be unreal. Macauley Bonne, what start to life he did have. Boyhood fan of the club, local lads. He's one of our own and all that, but one goal in the last 23 games for him. Not so good for a striker. But what would you do?
Yeah, I guess like Matt, my opinion has changed slightly. Initially I saw an opportunity with the forwards to get rid of all of them potentially, and then invest heavily in a couple, bring in a third as a or as a backup, and then have Tyree Simpson as maybe a fourth if you could move on Joe Pigott, which to my mind seems like the sensible option. Saturday he was poor. I'm not interested in link-up play when you've got Celina and Chaplin behind you. That's what they're there to do. You're there to bang the ball in the net. It's as simple as that, and he's not doing that. So whether you do that, but Bonne, my opinion's changed based on his performance on Saturday. I think he's got maybe a slightly different role. He came on and he looked fantastic. He was chasing everything. He was hurrying, and I think there's a real place for that in League One, which is why I was surprised Norwood wasn't perhaps starting on Saturday, because he scored goals, Pigott hasn't, and he's very good at that. He's very good at hassling people and chasing things down and really putting people under pressure, but he's definitely going to go. I think Bonne's going to leave QPR. He doesn't want to be fourth choice. Can't blame him at all. I don't think he's championship caliber, with the best of respects to him. I think League One's his level. If we had him as maybe not the leading guy, the second choice or even third choice, I think that takes a lot of pressure off him. He's obviously had his battles off the pitch as well. Being second or third choice at your club you love might just be a great burden off his shoulders and might allow him less pressure to play. I think there's a potential deal to be done, but I don't want to get too sentimental. If QPR want too much money, then we should walk away. And it's a similar situation with Bersant Celina. I was the same as Matt. He's very much a luxury player. Would it be better if we had someone who was more consistent, more a 7 out of 10 every week, rather than blowing hot and cold? But he has undoubted class, and if we could sign him to perhaps a longer term deal, he would do great in the Championship. But again, it's whether a deal can be done. Ligue 1 is a financial mess at the moment. because of the TV rights. So I imagine Dijon will probably want to offload him to someone. Is that someone in the Championship potentially? Is that us? Maybe. He said he wants to stay, which would be nice. But again, as Matt said, whether that's even feasible, in terms of salary cap, management protocol, if that's possible. Will he take up too much cap space if we wanted to invest in other areas? But yeah, I would keep both, but I would have Bonne as maybe third choice just to take the pressure off him a bit and ease the burden. It'd be lovely for him to get goals soon as well, just to end the season on a high and cap off this loan spell if this is his last stint in a town shirt. But I desperately want it to work out for him. I really do.
Yeah, I think we all do. And, well, technically did score against Pompey, but we won't go into that. That's another podcast altogether. Steve, then, I'm giving you the power here to decide on it. If you were in charge, what would you do? Bersant Celina, Macauley, Bonne, are you signing permanently?
Never had that much power before. Would I? Celina, I would. I know what Baines is saying and Matt about a luxury player, but he is quality. He's a cut above on a technical basis across the rest of the squad, really. I think with McKenna's, the way that he's kind of drawing out the skills and the ability in some of the players that maybe we thought didn't quite have it, I think a full season with Celina, with a team built around him, could be a game changer. It could be a game changer for us next season. Hashtag game changer. On Saturday, you could see he was tearing them apart on the left hand side. And his goal was excellent, really, really good. I really like him as a player, and he's obviously invested in the club. He loves the fans, he loves the club. He's already said, as Matt said, he wants to come back. I think if they can get around the salary issue and get him in, I would, because I think McKenna will do a pretty big chopping job at the end of the season, which kind of leads on to the Bonne situation. I'm similar to Baines and Matt, really. If you'd have looked at the start of the season, I'd have kept Bonne in a heartbeat. Seeing him on Saturday when he came on to replace Pigott, he was all over them. Every single ball that came to him, he managed to get a flick on, and you could see he had the fire in his belly. He was up for the game. So I personally would keep Bonne, and I would keep Celina. So if that decision's been made, then we'll keep them both. McKenna's going to do a massive job on the front line. I don't think he actually knows who he wants up front. He's done so much rotation with players. I was genuinely quite surprised he played Pigott at the weekend. I think he did get a bit of a rough deal, Pigott. I think he got, I think I said after the game, a bit potential ABH with some of the players with taking him down. But I think Pigott will go. I think Norse will go, much to my disappointment, because I really, really like Norse. And I think he'll end up with Bonne and then bring in a couple of extras. Potentially someone from Man U Academy or a player of his preference, somebody he wants to bring in. What he's got at the minute is a squad he's taken on from Cook, really, and look what he's done with them. So I would keep Bonne. If you look at the way Bonne started the season on fire, and all the documented reasons that obviously everyone's aware of with Macauley Bonne, that has impacted him. It must have, to go from scoring all those goals to sort of drying up. But as I say, on Saturday he looked well up for the fight on Saturday. I think I said after the game there was one point where he ran an Oxford player down, got a block in, and then literally screamed at the town fans in that away end. You could see he was massively up for it. So it'd be a shame not to see him there next season, because I think next season McKenna will get his own players in. And I think we will be better next season. So, but I would keep both Celina and Bonne. As long as I don't have to pay their wages, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, I won't give you that power because I'm sure.
I don't mind the bank balance for it, but I don't want to be paying their wages.
I think whatever happens, I've got more faith that there's going to be a strategy in the summer. Whereas, and I'll fully put my hands up. I got really excited in the summer. Everything coming in, the club social media doing great. But look, in the cold light of day, reflecting back on it now, it was almost like Ashton took Paul Cook into the sweet shop and said, "Look, just grab whatever you want." And we were getting players because we could get them, not because they fitted into a strategy. Whereas I think now I think there's obviously I mean, it's all documented in terms of sort of whether or not Ashton and Cook got on, and whether or not Cook was really game changer's choice at the end of the Evans tenure. But I think there seems to be that really good relationship between Ashton and McKenna, and there's a proper strategy there, and we're actually going to be signing players that are going to fit what McKenna's going to want to do next season.
Indeed, and I think that's one thing with Lacto in League One in it is that 20-goal a season striker. So hopefully McKenna does bring that player in, or can Macauley Bonne be that man if he gets that confidence again and score the goals? We shall wait and see. But there we go then. Macauley Bonne, Bersant Celina, will they sign permanently? We shall wait and see in the summer. Hopefully they both have a good end to the season. Let's talk about then a departure at the club, and that was, of course, Kieran Dyer. A surprise move, of course. I think a lot of people were shocked when that happened on Monday. It was Monday. Of course, he left his role as the Towns Under-23s manager. Of course, they're currently riding high, top of the Professional Development League 2 South table. Bit of a mouthful. But yeah, Matt, how surprised were you when you heard that news?
I was really surprised. You know, you say he's been going great guns there this season, keeping them top of the league and competitive. And also, I know James Norwood spoke really highly of him sort of during his exile, when he came back from his exile to the under-23s. You know, and I've said before, you know, I think probably Dyer probably saw a little bit of himself in Norwood in terms of sort of doing the daft things. Dyer is well documented for having done daft things when he left here and went to Newcastle. I was surprised. I'm sad to see him go. I understand why. He's got to stick to his guns. Obviously, he's not happy with the club's approach to the academy. That does worry me a bit. We've got, I hate to use the word tradition, but we have got a tradition of sort of bringing young players through, and I'd hate to see that Game Changer maybe aren't sort of paying proper service to the academy, and that you're not having a pathway sort of through there. And I think it was mentioned on the main pod earlier today that I think it was actually you that said it, Ross, and I can't remember the lad that went to, was it Liam Gibbs?
Yeah, Liam Gibbs.
Yeah, that went to know, and he's made similar comments about a pathway. So I think potentially in some areas of Twitter, would you believe that there's been exaggeration on social media? But I think it's that. I mean, especially I'm a child of the 90s. You know, I grew up. I remember him breaking into the team. I remember him scoring on a broken leg. You know, I remember being absolutely heartbroken when he left at the end of the 98-99 season. But also I kind of all feel grateful because Birdie was able to reinvest that money well into the squad that took us up the following year. Always a shame I never got to see him in a Town shirt in the Premier League, but yeah, I'm sure he'll do well. I've not listened to the interview that he did recently, but I've picked up some of the key points, and I certainly he's got designs on being a first team manager. He's halfway through his pro license, you know, and it might be best for him that he moves away, because he's not going to get that break here anytime soon. I got the impression he might have been a bit disappointed that McGreal was in charge in the interim and not him. But he needs to go, and obviously he needs to go away for his health as well. He said he's not going to be able to take on a first team job until he has that liver transplant. And so I wish him well. I really wish him well. Never say never. He's left the club before and come back, so maybe he'll come back one day. You never know. But whatever he goes on to do, you know, I hope he has great success with it. But it'll be interesting to see sort of what noises come out. Certainly, we've got the fans forum coming up soon. What noises come out from Ashton and O'Leary and even McKenna about what is happening with the academy in the medium to long term.
Yeah, some sort of brought out a different sort of debate really on the academy really, and into Baines. You know, it's sad to see Kieran Dyer leave, but also it sort of opens up a little bit of another bigger conversation on, if you really think about it, there's not many players have progressed this season. You know, Luke Wolforden, of course, he's already a senior pro, really. You can't call him he's an academy graduate, but he's already made 100 appearances now for the club. There's not many other players who have really broken through this season. There's a few players making a few appearances in the Pat Johns Trophy. I know Bailey Clements had a few little games under Paul Cook, but then he got loaned out to Stevenage. What's your thoughts on all this and just the academy as a whole?
Yeah, obviously it was you know, an interesting interview. I'd say go and read his book as well, or cheat like I did and listen to the audiobook. It's
I did
the
that as well.
adversity. Yeah, the adversity he's come through to get where he is phenomenal, and he talks about being abused as well. Such a brave thing to talk about. So I'll always respect him for coming out and saying that. But yeah, I think firstly it's just sadness that a club legend is leaving the club for one reason or another. I understand his frustrations and why he feels he has to leave. Those are his players. They're his lads. Tyrese. Amando Dobra has been loaned out to Colchester. He's not even playing for Colchester. Liam Gibbs left. There's lots of players that he feels perhaps haven't got their chance, their fair dues, and he feels like he's partly maybe responsible for that, and that's why he feels like he has to leave. So I completely understand it. It's sad, but I understand it. On the academy front, I differ slightly. I think there's a time and a place for it, and it's not quite now. Obviously, it's fantastic seeing Luke Wolfenden in the first team because he's clearly a fantastic player, and he's one of our academy graduates, which is great. But for me, if there were other defenders that were better that we could bring in, or say Burgess was better, or Edmondson, or whoever, I'd have no qualms in playing them over Wolfenden. I'd have no sentiment over him being an academy graduate. And I think, the Brentford model is the alternative. Huddersfield has done it, having a B team rather than academy. It's well done in Spain, Real Madrid B, Barcelona B as well. You hoover up all the seconds, sort of all the talent that hasn't quite made it. You refine them, try and make something of them, get them to the first team, or you sell them on. And Brentford have had absolutely fantastic success with it, and now they're in the Premier League. So for me, I guess less sentimental about the academy. It would be. I'm not denying at all. It would be lovely to have 7, 8, 9 players from our academy starting every week, but in my eyes, it's not realistic. We need to get out of League One. I'd rather, just do that than play academy players and potentially not get there as quickly. But yeah, I can't blame him for leaving because he feels that he has to leave because of the young players haven't got a chance. And I think the other interesting thing that came from it as well is the lack of sort of BAME representation across the Football League. He feels like he hasn't had a chance potentially because of his ethnicity. He spoke about it in an interview and got widely criticised about it. That opposing the Rooney Rule, he said he wanted a job because of his ability rather than the colour of his skin and ticking a box. And I completely get that. And the lack of representation across the top leagues is astounding. I mean, Patrick Vieira is probably the most high profile. I can't really think of any. I mean, there's Keith Curl, but he got sacked. I can't think of any.
Jimmy Floyd.
Jimmy Floyd, yeah. But again, these are such small numbers, and if you think of the number of really talented black players we've had down the years, even us, Jason Dizelle, Kieran Dyer, these Darren Bent. Well, he said he didn't want management, but there's certainly a lack of representation of the BAME community, in football management, and that's certainly something that needs addressing. But best of luck to him. I'd love him to get a job somewhere because I think he would make a great manager. I have no doubt about that. He made the under-23s fantastic. He can make a League Two side fantastic. He could make a National League side fantastic. So, yeah, best of luck to him. Hope he gets his transplant soon, so he can start, making more long-term plans. Best of luck to him. Sad to see him go though.
Indeed, and Steve Bainesy made a good point there about we're in League One, 3 years in League One now. Sentimental stuff with academy players, it's always great to see, one of your own starting and playing and making their appearance. When we had down Dizelle, Wolfenden playing, and it was great to see that. But then we're still in League One. What's your current feeling about the academy and the Kieran Dyer news as well?
Well, from Kieran Dyer's point of view, I did watch the interview online. Hats off to Kieran. I remember going to watch him like Matt when I was a kid, watching him play with Titus Bramble and that crop of players, and he was just on another level. You could tell he was going to go on to bigger things after us. What a man of principle, what a man of integrity. He's not taken $1 to do the job because he's getting paid to do it. He's got principles, he's stuck to them. He doesn't agree with the plan, the way that Game Changer are looking to, implement that plan, and he's put his money where his mouth is and left. He will be sorely missed. I mean, you listen to, you go online and you look at all the, the other youth team players who've kind of talked about Kieran. Every single one of them talks about him in a really positive light. Norwood, it was Charlton he scored, didn't he? And he ran across the pitch and launched onto Kieran. So it's that kind of passion that he has for the club and the passion he has for his players. I mean, if you think about, if you were a youth team manager or under 23s managing a group of players who are young, inexperienced, you're trying to get them through to the next level, you're investing all of your time, your knowledge, your skill, your energy in those players, and then you keep seeing them getting blocked. Andre and Flynn have gone on to other things, but they didn't do it with us. I mean, Cook jettisoned them, but they went. Wolfie's really the only one. You look at the crop he's got now. He mentioned Cameron Humphreys, but there's other players in that group. Matt Ward, cracking midfield player. Not had a real chance. I think he had a couple of minutes in a Papa John's trophy match at the start of the season. So if you're thinking from Kieran's point of view, managing all of those players and trying to see them progress into the game like he did when he was a kid when he played first team football for us. He was, what was he, 16 when he made his debut? Not seeing players getting that opportunity must be galling for him. And he's taken that decision. He's left. I mean, left the club he loves. The Game Changer plan, though, going back to your kind of point about, is it the right thing? I'm on the same page as Bainesy. We need to get out of League One now. You can't rely on a youth setup, an academy setup to get you out of League One in one season. It's not going to happen. Academy's long game. That's 5-10 years worth of investment in players. Game Changer aren't here for that. They want us in the Championship, in the Premier League within the shortest period of time. That sadly won't be through youth team players. As good as they are, and the goals that some of these lads are scoring in the under 23s, the fact that they're at the top of the table, it's too long a game for Game Changer. They need to get us into the top end of the leagues, rather than kind of try and drag us through with academy players. I think the other thing that I took away from the interview was when they brought McGreal in. It was blatantly obvious to pretty much every Ipswich fan when McGreal came in that he was in to replace Cook on a short term. There was no way they were going to do that long term. Kieran had been managing that team for how long, and then he just gets completely sidelined. McGreal comes in, suddenly he's the assistant to McGreal, and it wasn't that under 23s. McGreal was his assistant. So think about how you'd feel in that situation. That must have been soul destroying for him to invest in your club. It was his club, and he doesn't get the chance to go through. So I take my hat off to the guy. I think everything I've seen of him on all the stuff he's done, even the SAS stuff, what a decent bloke. So I'm genuinely really, really sorry to see him go. I think whoever gets him next are getting a diamond. If he can do it with under 23s, he's going to be able to do it with, a full team in a league. And the other thing with him as well, if you look at players, ex-players like Lampard and Rooney and Gerrard, their first management jobs generally have been higher level. He's not thinking like that. He said in his interview, "I'll go National League. I'll go League Two. I want that opportunity." So I think, again, hats off to the guy. He's very brave. He might regret it. That's my only concern. If we do get promoted and he could be in that setup going forwards, he may regret it. But as Matt said, he may come back. So yeah, sad, but respect the guy 100%.
Indeed, and well said, all three of you. And this is not going to be the last time we're going to see Kieran Dyer. I'm sure we're going to see him pop up somewhere, being a manager of a football club, and you never know, he could be coming back for town. And for me, I'm a big fan of the academy. I've been able to cover the academy from under 18s, under 23s, since I started this role, and I've always enjoyed seeing players progress. But sometimes getting out of League One, you can't rely on the academy players. But we do wish Kieran Dyer the best of luck, and we do hope there will be players coming through and progressing throughout. But there we go then. Let's jump into some silly stuff then before we look ahead to Plymouth. It is time for the strike. Matt, Bainesy and Steve go face-to-face to see who's going to win the strike crown this week. We have 5 questions. Play at home as always. Let's jump right into then. Question 1. And as I said, it is Paul Mariner Day this weekend. And it is, the first question is on Paul Mariner. Let me just get my answers up. I don't want to be flapping about. I just want to get I need to get prepared a bit more, don't I? Okay.
Good thing I'm reading his book at the moment.
Pardon?
So it's a good thing I'm reading his book at the moment then.
Oh, hello. Where have I put?
I might be talking myself off a bit much here, to be fair.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. To be fair, good old Mark Beck, he prepared himself for a strike and he won because he knew the sort of questions, the route I was going down. So, Paul Mariner, how many goals did Paul Mariner score for Town in 339 games? Lily said the answer there. That would have been good. Lily told you the answer. So 339 games. How many goals did Paul Mariner score for Town? So if you get it bang on, you get 2 points. If you get it closest to the correct answer, you get a point.
Matt Scott, doesn't he?
No, you can't wait for Matt. As Matt is reading the book, Steve and Baines, you have to go first. So whenever you're both ready, shout out your answer.
I'll go first then, shall I? 96.
96.
120.
120. Matt?
116.
Is 135. So Bainesy is 1-0 up. Ooh. 135 and 339 games. And I was looking at his record every season. I think it's only by one. I think he scored 10 plus goals. So
in the chapter I've just read, I can tell you, I can tell you his England goals and appearances, but I didn't have that one on the top of my head.
No, that's fine. But Bainesy is 1-0 up. Second question is a game when we played Plymouth back in 2004. Which Town player got sent off in the 3-2 win over Plymouth in 2004? Was it Fabian Wilness, Drisha Diallo, or Kevin Horlock? I've completely butchered Diallo's name in it. Diallo? Drisha Diallo? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But he got sent off in this game. And it was very early on as well. I think it's like the 13th minute. So we were 10 men down in 13 minutes. We still won the game 3-2, thankfully.
I'm going to have a guess at this one. I cannot remember that back off the top of my head. I'm going to just guess Horlock.
Okay.
Diallo.
Baines is looking confident.
I'm not.
Yeah, he is confident with Diallo.
What did you go for, sorry, Steve?
Horlock.
You're all wrong. It's actually Fabian Wilness. He got sent off.
He never got sent off.
He did.
One of the nicest players ever.
Yeah. So still 1-0 Bainesy. But yeah, he got sent off 30 minutes into the game. I forgot what the tackle was, but yeah, not a good start of a game getting sent off that early on, but thankfully we got the win. Question 3 is on James Wilson, of course, now at Plymouth. Of course, had a fantastic season for us last year, despite the rubbish season, but he's doing really well at Plymouth at the moment. A lot of clean sheets and 4th in League One and all that jazz. But James Wilson scored 2 goals for Town. His second goal was against Lincoln City in a 1-1 draw at Portland Road. Who set him up? Was it Miles Kenlock, Luke Chambers, or Alan Judge? So 1-1 draw. James Wilson. Or his other goal.
Kenlock, is it?
You never know.
Kenlock got the assist for the Norwood goal, wasn't it? That got everyone excited about game changer.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Alan Judge.
My inkling was Judge as well. I can't imagine Chambers.
So you're going for Judge? You're all wrong. It's Luke Chambers. You're rubbish. You guys are rubbish. We need new contestants over here. We need some new contestants. But, Bainesy still 1-0 up, though. Do not worry, Bainesy. It's fine. Question 4 is on Connor Grant. Of course, he's at Plymouth. He was on loan for Town. But how many games did he play? Of course, on loan from Everton. But then he got recalled. So a little bonus clue there for you. He got recalled very early on. But how many games did he play in total? If you get bang on, 2 points. If you get close, you get 1 point.
He had the same debut as Grant Ward, didn't he? So he came out. He had his debut at the same time.
The Barnsley game, yeah, where he scored a
Yeah.
hat-trick. Yeah, I think so.
Bainesy's done far too much research.
I just remember because I was at the game. I was like, always there's two names with Grant involved.
All I can remember about that game is that I missed it because of a secondary stag do that I'd had in the Arcade Street Tavern the night before. So that's the only reason that game sticks in the memory, because I don't think I was vertical until about 6 o'clock in the evening that day. I want to say it was low, wasn't it? 2.
13. My thought was 13, so I'll stick with that.
Okay.
9.
9. It is 6 games he played. So I think Steve gets the point.
So yeah, split between me and Matt, isn't it? You went for
What
3,
did you
didn't
get?
you?
They went 2.
On
2.
2.
Oh, yeah.
So Steve makes it 1-1. So Matt, there's a chance here. You've got to get into this. You've got to get it right, and it is going to go to the tiebreaker. If not, it may go to the tiebreaker. Stephen Bainesy. So Tristan Idem, of course, announced his retirement on the weekend. We had a great podcast with good old Andy Warren talking about his time at Town and the decision to retire. Of course, we wish Tristan all the best. But now Tristan Idem, of course, made his return, and he's made his final appearance in the game against Milton Keynes. But who did he replace in that game? Was it Andre Dazelle, Teddy Bishop, or Amanda Dobra? So who did he come on for to make his final Town appearance after his return from that devastating injury, which unfortunately has ended his career?
I've got a feeling it was Dazelle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dazelle.
Bishop.
I'm going Bishop.
And it is Bishop. So we are going to go to the tiebreaker. Matt, you're out. Goodbye, my friend. So we are going to the tiebreaker. And it is time now for Bainesy and Steve to win it. Now, how many times have Town beaten Plymouth at Portman Road in 24 games? How many times? Matt, you can still play if you want. If you get it bang on, well done. I won't say you'll be able to sort of steal it. I don't know. It's up to Bainesy and Steve. They want to gamble, but they've got to try to win themselves. How many games did Town beaten Plymouth at Portman Road in 24 games?
I actually did do some research on this, and of the 49 games we've played against Argyle, we beat them 22 times. If that helps. It's not helping me because I don't know what the home one was. I'm going 14.
I'll go 17. 17 in my head seemed like a good number.
Okay.
I'm going. I'm just chucking me in. I'll just have a go. I'm going to go 9. I'm just going to go really low.
9. Okay. Well, someone is bang on, and that man is Steve. It is 14. So Steve has won this week's strike. Speech, Steve. How's it feel to win the strike this week?
I'm flabbergasted because I never thought I would. So yeah, very pleased. I'll add it to my CV. It'll help me get a job managing. Now I've bought Celina and Bonne. Maybe that'll get me the next job. So very proud. But it was a good competition.
Yes,
and
it was.
Winning. It's about the taking part.
It was taking part, Matt. It was very much taking part, my friend. Good
I
to have you
always
with it.
like to make up the numbers.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's always next time. But there you go. The strike for another week. Hopefully you got on well, listening or watching at home. Let's jump right into then the big game at this weekend. It is win or basically win Town. If not, you can definitely say the season is dead. Matt, Plymouth currently sitting in 4th, 6 wins in the last 6 games, all clean sheets. They're not a bad little side, Plymouth. A long way up for them. But it's going to be a very good occasion because of Paul Marin a day. How are you feeling going into this one? And prediction?
See, I've got a lot riding on this because it's a little known fact. I was born in Plymouth. And we moved to sunny Suffolk when I was about 2.5. So I've obviously got a lot of family down there still. So it's a game that no one is calling the Matt Makin derby. Yeah, I hadn't realised until listening to the main pod earlier today that they've got 6 clean sheets in a row. You know, that is, it's got all the hallmarks of a 0-0 draw, this one, isn't it? Because we're really good defensively, they're really good defensively, and we're not scoring a lot of goals. So Yeah. I think it's got the potential to be a entertaining encounter. I think. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals, if indeed any, in it. To be fair, I hate to admit, I think yeah. I mean, it wasn't dead when you said it, Ross, but the season is dead now. I think pretty much that sort of last Saturday, that was it really. But I think we still want to finish strong because we want to take that momentum into the summer. And I think that fits in with being able to attract the sort of players McKenna wants. So I think we need to sort of get out there and give it a go. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be tight. It is going to be tight. I'm thinking it is going to be. I want to say it's a 0-0 draw, but I hate predicting anything other than a town win. I can't quite bring myself to do it, and it's probably reflects the fact that I haven't shot up the prediction league since I joined it. So, do you know what? I'm going to be a little bit optimistic. I'm going to say 1-0 town. We're going to sneak it. Macauley Bonne, and you heard it here first. Macauley Bonne's going to break his goal drought, get the winner against Argyle on Saturday.
If you listen to the main pod, I said that too. So there we go.
Think alike, Ross K.
Yeah, definitely, my friend. Good bet that. Good bet indeed. So hopefully he can break his duck. Bainesy, last chance saloon and all that. Plymouth looking like a very good side. Of course, got a new manager in charge. Been in charge since December. Of course, Steve Schumacher. He'll be coming down to Portman Road. James Wilson in the side. Connor Grant in the side, as we already said. But they are missing two of their key players, Jeff Cott and Kamara. There will be a Meet the Oppo video going out soon, probably before or after this. And the guy on there, the journalist who I spoke on there, saying Kamara's a big miss, but they've also got other strikers who are replacing pretty much Jeff Cott, Ryan Hardy and stuff. But how are you feeling going into this game, my friend?
A lot of last chance saloons, aren't there? I think we've passed about 3 or 4 in the past weeks. Fair play to them. They've done a fantastic job. Like when Lowe went to Preston, I was convinced they were gonna drop away, but they've done what we can't and actually been able to cement a playoff place, and they've probably got considerably less budget than we have. Obviously, they got Danny Mayer when we missed out on him. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I want to predict a town win just because I think I want to after Saturday. I'm also going to go for a 1-0. I think it's going to be a very tight game. Like you said on the main pod, they don't concede many goals. Their main goal threat with Jeff Cott out as well is a good thing. But I think if any, I think it's not quite dead yet. I'm saying to myself. But I think the main thing is we just got to finish strong. That's what it's about now. And anything else is a bonus, really. So yeah, a 1-0 town win. Macauley Bonne to score, and then he goes on a nice little run of goals, and somehow we make the playoffs at the last day against Charlton. But no, I'm probably being a hopeless optimist. But yeah. Just please have a town win after Oxford, because that was awful. That was absolutely awful. It was heartbreaking. So yeah, just do a win any way you can. Do a win. I don't care how it is. If it bounced off Macauley Bonne's arse or a limb of some kind, I couldn't care. If Christian Walton fancied coming up, 96th minute for a corner, go for it. Just do a win, please, Ipswich. Do a win.
Do a win indeed. Steve, Plymouth is your neck of the woods. That's where you currently live. So there's a lot of riding on this one, really. How are you feeling going into this one and your prediction?
Yeah, I do live in Plymouth, and that's at this moment not that particularly pleasant with us outside the playoffs and them in it. A lot of my mates posted on Facebook about how Argyle are the finished article. They've just done what we needed to do maybe 5-6 weeks ago, which is win 6 games on the bounce. I got a mate of mine who's an Argyle fan. I'm going to the match on Saturday, and he's coming with me for his sins. And his first question to me was, "Are you going to deploy a ruthless thug on Danny Mayer like you did at Home Park?" He's obviously referring to Morsey. That's probably probably going to happen because Mayer is a very good player, so you need to tie him down. I mean, from a results point of view, I thought like you, Ross, the season was gone weeks and weeks ago. How we're even still mathematically and with a chance at this point is just down to McKenna and the players pulling together. I personally don't think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going 2-2, and I think, I mean, if there's 4 goals in it, I'd be quite happy. But I think it'll be 2-2. I think Plymouth will probably come thinking they're just going to shut up shop like they normally do. We'll probably come in thinking we're going to shut up shop like we normally do, and then there'll be a goal fest, and no one will know what the hell's happening. So I think 2-2. If it is a draw, that is it. I can't see us getting. We need to basically win 6 out of the last 7 if we draw against Argyle. So we'll see. But looking forward to the game. Should be good. Second game in 2 weeks. I don't think it's years since I've done 2 games in 2 weeks. So yeah, looking forward to it. Little road trip.
Yeah, brave soul. You're doing that in the day?
No, it's really unfortunate, but we're going to end up staying in Ipswich, and he's dragging me to pubs. It's going to be quite disappointing. He's got a mate who lives up there as well, so he's got all the pub route lined out. So yeah, we're going to frequent a couple of hostelries. Hopefully, I'm in a good mood, and he's not. But yeah, we're staying up and then coming back on Sunday, which means we miss Mother's Day, which is another reason I'm in the doghouse. So it's not good.
Ooh,
The real question is, Steve, which route are you taking up? Are you going over the top, or are you going the A303?
Oh yeah, that's the sort of question my father-in-law would ask me. He's absolutely he always asks me which route I take when I go somewhere. We're going up to Bristol and then along the was it the M4? And then M25 around. So probably that's
correct. That's the route I take every time. It's a long conversation in my family because my parents like to go down the A303. Sorry, Ross, I know this is boring, but yeah, that's an infamous conversation in the making family. Which route you're taking from Suffolk to Devon?
Yeah, if you're the A303, I mean, this is dull as dishwater, but the A303 is a very pretty route, whereas the motorway is dull and boring, but you get there a bit quicker. So motorway all the way.
Baines, to get involved.
What have we come to? That this is the point of the conversation.
This is how exciting the season's got, where we're talking about our routes to Portman Road.
Yeah, I have to get my little Baines. You have to get my little partridge moments out every now and again.
If we start talking about service stations, then people can switch off.
No, I think that's key. That's sometimes key points. Sometimes
service station.
Is it? Yeah. Gloucester's good if we're picking one. Gloucester's a good service station.
Yeah. Beaconsfield, Beaconsfield, I think that's what it's called. That's decent.
That's good.
Leeds Lemay is good if you've got children because it's got a soft play. So big fan. Yeah. Anything you can keep a toddler amused. It's good stuff.
Yeah, or Forest Green Rovers, they look like they'd be going up. So Gloucester could be a good service station for us to go to. Once again, that's another podcast altogether. Is when teams do come up and go down, we'll talk about which away days we're looking forward to.
Nice. It's looking nice at the moment. Newport in there, Exeter in there,
Bristol
Swindon,
Rovers.
Forest Green, Western away days are back. None of this northern bullshit.
To be fair, anything above Plymouth is north anyway. Even Exeter's bloody north. So, but anyway.
Yeah, for listeners who don't know, Bainesy is based in Newport, so yeah, he's hoping for all those teams around in League 2 are, like Newport, Exeter City, Bristol Rovers and all that. You're hoping for them. Even Swindon, they're up there at the moment. But for us people who do live in Suffolk, it's sort of like anywhere north or down south is sort of too far anyway, but we shall wait and see. But no, it's been another great podcast. Of course, it is a double header this weekend. The women's team are playing Plymouth as well on Sunday at the Gold Star. Of course, they had a historic game on Sunday live on TV. We have had a Track the Girls talk out already with Blue Wilson and good old special guest, Maddie Biggs. But Matt, I want to quickly go over to you. You were at the game on Sunday. Of course, we've got Plymouth this weekend. We've beaten 5-0 at Home Park in October, Halloween and all that sort of stuff. But your thoughts quickly on the game against West Ham and look forward to this Sunday as well.
Yeah, I managed to get back for that. It was a very early start. We stayed over in Oxford with friends after the game on Saturday, so it moved from a leisurely mid-morning departure to a very early morning departure when the kickoff changed for the TV. Like I said at the start, it was lovely. We went straight from Oxford to Felixstowe. Got there at 11:15, 15 minutes before. The turnstiles open and there's already a queue almost all the way back to the car park entrance at that point, which was fantastic. 2,000 fans inside the ground. And I mean, wow, it's not the result any of us wanted, but I mean, a hell of a performance nonetheless, and I touched on this in the recap video I did with you earlier in the week. I'm just incredibly proud of that team and what they did. I mean, there was no shame in that 10-0 result against Man City a couple of seasons ago in the 5th round. But you know what, we made West Ham really work for it on Sunday, and it's you go back and watch the replays, and it was just that one bit of class for that defence splitting ball to put Evans through for the goal. Sarah Quantrill made some really good saves to keep us in the game. Page, well, all of the defenders, Summer as well, and just played their hearts out, and it was just West Ham. They're a professional outfit, their jobs are professional footballers. They train like professional footballers. We train 3 times a week. All our players, even our girls that have got pro contracts now, still have day jobs as well. And the fact is, we gave an incredibly good account of ourselves last Sunday. I'm incredibly proud of that performance. And just listening to like national podcasts and media, there was a piece on The Athletic about the game the other day, up front. So Football Rambles women's podcast picked up on it, and they spent a lot of time really glowing review of us. It's really, I think Joe was right in his interview. We already are on the national stage, but I really think that's just increased our profile for the better, for sure. And coming up to this Sunday, I'll be there again at the Gold Star. Tight in nicely. My parents are in Felixstowe, so I nip round for Mother's Day shortly afterwards. Cover all bases. I'm not in the doghouse, and I mean, it's a different kettle of fish, this game, compared to the game we've just talked about on Saturday. We're top of the league. Plymouth are 9th. This is the start of a run of games. We've only got one away game left now, which is Pompey right at the end of the season. I think the next 4 or 5 Saturdays we're at home. Sundays rather, sorry, we're at home now. But I mean, I'm expecting a comfortable victory. Back to our best. But it's important now we start picking up points. We're ahead of Oxford by 4 points. Played the same number of games. Southampton won again last night. If they win all their games in hand, which is including the game against us a week on Sunday, they go ahead of us by, I think it's a point when I was looking at the table earlier today, So it's important we keep picking up points and also that we take points off them next Sunday in round 4 of a game. It's just absolutely #narrative a week on Sunday. But yeah, looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll see a lot. I'm obviously not expecting another 2,000 crowd this Sunday, but hopefully there'll be a lot of new fans for the women's team that will come back, and all I can say, anybody who's listening, anybody who's thinking about going, do it. It's a great day out. It's a £5 for adults. It's £3 for concessions, and if you want to keep going, sign up for the True Blue scheme. Minimum £5 a month gets you into all games at the Gold Star. Can't recommend it highly enough. Just get behind the tractor girls. They're going places. It's a case of when, not if. Even if we don't go up this season, we'll be up there soon. We're going to be knocking on the door of the WSL before too long. So get down to the Gold Star.
Well said as always, my friend. 5 home games back to back now. So if you ain't got nothing on Sunday, go and support the girls and watch some good football at the Gold Star. Bainesy, any other notes from yourself? Quickly mention, of course, we saw each other in Cardiff when the Town Women's side played Cardiff City in that 3-0 win. What did you like watching the Town side? And any other notes you want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've seen the women's team a couple of times this season. I wasn't able to catch the game on Sunday because I went to Oxford, so I had to make the deal with the wife that I couldn't watch both. But I saw them play at Keynsham and I saw them play at Cardiff City, and they play some great football. Like there's so much talent in that team. Like, Natasha Thomas, Zoe Barrett, Abby Lafayette, Anna Gray. You've got these really fantastic, footballers. Bonnie Horwood, stepped in as captain. Really good central midfielder. I've really enjoyed it, and like Matt says, go support the women's team. They're coming to a point in the season where it's crunch time. You know, it's really coming down to the wire. Southampton obviously don't want to play league games because they've played all the cup games, so they've got all the games in hand, and it's really coming down to the wire. They've got to play them. So yeah, definitely support the team. I partly sort of went to watch them because my two-year-old girl, I'm desperately trying to get her into football. I've bought her a town shirt already. It'd be lovely if by the time she grew up, we had a team in the WSL. I could be like, look at all these exciting players. They're pro players, you know, it's a professional setup. I just think it's fantastic. It's fantastic to see that the women's team are equally getting as much, you know, in the way of, you know, support and backing financially as the men's team as well. So yeah, to be honest, I'm even debating driving to Portsmouth for the final day if it's a crucial tie. You know, they play really good football, really nice football. So definitely get yourself down. It's great value. I mean, Cardiff, I think, was £4 for me. It was brilliant. I got to see 3 goals. Zoe Barrett, fantastic goal. So yeah, just go cheer on the Tractor Girls. You will not be disappointed because they've got some fantastic players.
Indeed, and as always, I like to plug the Tractor Girls Talk podcast. If you haven't already listened to it, it'll be on your podcast feed. Blue Wilson, the skipper, of course, out with a season-ending injury with the ACL, and of course, Maddie Biggs was on the pod as well. Maddie Biggs, of course, the number 9 for us. Steve, over to you to sort of finish off the pod. Really, your thoughts on all things Town. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just sort of touching on the girls really, and like when you're a long distance fan, you don't get to see, like I don't get the opportunity to go to the Gold Star to watch them play. And there've been, as Tom said, there's been a few games sort of southwest based where I know some of the guys in our sort of WhatsApp group have gone to watch them, and they've really enjoyed it. Being able to watch them on the telly on the red button and actually see the quality of the play. I don't think it surprised me because I've kind of seen all the content through social media, you know, your stuff, Ross, where you're talking about the team, loads of people who go to the games, and they're all really positive about the women's team. If you support Town, you should be going to if you can, you should be going to watch both of them. You know, it doesn't matter whether they're men's team or the women's, makes no difference. They're all blue, so we should be going to support them. So it makes no difference to me. And I'm, as Matt said, just really proud of how they've taken the season on, really. I mean, Joe Sheehan's done a great job. He has got some quality players there. I follow Natasha Tasha Thomas on Instagram, and always see all the posts where she's talking about the game, and there's loads of stuff on there, it's just nice to see the club getting exposure at that sort of level when they're not in the WSL. So yeah, hats off to them. I think they did themselves proud on that game. And as Tom said, they're a Premier League outfit, West Ham. You know, they've got international players in their squad, and we did not look out of place at all.
Having the season of their life, they've already beaten their best ever WSL points total, which I didn't realise until after the game.
Yeah,
you know, that they're having the season of their lives. So to give them that good go, and just hopefully we'll then win the playoff game against the Northern Premier. Because if you excuse me, Rog, get on my soapbox. Even if we win the league, there's still no guarantee we go up because only one team out of the 2 regional divisions goes into the Championship.
Madness.
So we could win the league, play probably going to be Wolves, could end up losing to Wolves, and we've won the league, and we still end up in third division next season. But there we go. Come off my soapbox about increasing places in the top tiers of women's football.
That's almost as a sensible suggestion as Sky moving our Easter games.
Oh yeah, that was going to be another feature on the pod, actually talking about the Easter games. Thank you very much for reminding us, Steve.
We're segueing into that.
Yeah, we can quickly segue into that. And yeah, if you don't know this already, I'm sure you do know. Of course, the dates have changed for 2 of Town's Easter games. Of course, Rotherham has now been picked for TV. For Saturday, of course, originally going to be on Good Friday at what is Rotherham Stadium? I've completely forgot. That doesn't matter. New York Stadium, I think it's called. That's moving on a Saturday. Of course, that means Wigan at Portland Road is going to be moved Tuesday night under lights, 7:45 kickoff. So we do get an extra Tuesday night game, but then I love a good Easter Monday game at Portland Road. But Matt, it's frustrating. It's a whole podcast worth of just talking about Sky, but yeah.
I think I said in the green room earlier when that was announced, my phone almost sort of went into overdrive. The amount of WhatsApp notification I was getting. I obviously got a fair few people I know that live far and wide and aren't in the town that obviously made their Easter weekend plans around coming to Ipswich for those games. Hoteliers up and all around Suffolk are going to be wondering why people are suddenly changing their bookings. If they've not seen the news, it's just another case of Sky only thinking about the people that are tuning in on telly and not about people that actually go to the ground. I'm not saying I don't want to get on the back of saying you're less of a football fan if you watch it on Sky, but I just wish that broadcasters would just take that more into consideration, especially around a long weekend where people will be planning trips home to Suffolk. People who live, people like Steve who are long distance fans and might be coming home Easter weekend, marrying it up with seeing family as well. It's just disappointing, really, isn't it? And I mean, I've got a vested interest that Wigan game moving to Tuesday. I'm almost certain I've got to be in the office in Melton that day, so hopefully I'll be able to get away and get back in time for that. As much as I enjoy Night Under the Lights, that might possibly, at least, I might not have time to go to the pub before the match, which is that's just devastating.
That's sad times. A little minute silence here for Matt. Enough of that. But Baines, it's always been a debate about Sky moving games. We've seen that a lot in just general, like just regular league games where a game's been moved. Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, and it's been moved to like Sunday 12 p.m. I think the Accrington Stanley game a few seasons ago in League One that got moved to a Sunday at 12 p.m. and that's like that is a long trip on a Sunday as well.
Just 5 words sum it up. They don't care about fans. That's all you need. That's all you need to say. Why? What's the need to move the games? What the schedule. If you're head of football at Sky, you know what games you're going to pick. So what's the point in changing it this late? It's just awful. It's difficult because a lot of their money props up the game, and there wouldn't be parachute payments, and there wouldn't be money for this and money for that. But yeah. It's bullshit, isn't it? Really, I'm just thankful that Harvey manages to, the sweet Welsh prince is still getting to go to the Wigan game. He managed to wangle that. So yeah, it's classic Sky, isn't it? What do you expect? Like, Sky.
I think if you take a silver lining from it, when they set that decision in motion and decided to move our games, Sky must have thought that Rotherham and Wigan were going to be big games. So they probably had us in the mix for getting in the playoffs. Now, we've already all of us have pretty much written off the playoffs. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they thought they were going to be massive games. So let's move them because of that reason. That's about the only positive spin I can put on it. That, as you say, the decision's absolutely bonkers. But
that's novelist thing. If we're on Sky, we're going to lose.
Yeah. When was the last time we won on Sky?
I think Noah was still a clean-shaven young lad, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, playing left back.
Yeah, I think we finally broke that duck, didn't we? I think it was last year, but it was still not a good record on Sky, and it has just ruined a lot of people's plans. Definitely Easter Sunday or just Easter weekend. Sorry, that just ruins your plans and people traveling and stuff. But as I said, that could be a whole podcast full of just talking about Sky moving games. But Steve, thank you very much for reminding us that little feature. Is there any other notes you want to mention, Steve, before we do wrap up?
No, just wish your team good luck for Saturday. Hopefully it'll be a good result and it won't be 2-2 like I've said, and it'll be 1-0 like Matt and Tom have said, and you, Ross. And maybe I'll put a tenner on Bonne to score because I saw 3 of you have had Bonne to score that goal, so might win a few quid, might pay for my petrol.
Oh, definitely. Safe trip to yourself, Steve, and your friend travelling up all the way from Plymouth. And of course, safe trip to everyone going to the game as well. Matt, Bainesy, Steve, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Fans Social once again. Thanks everyone listening at home, watching at home as well. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, hello, all of our subscribers on there. Of course, support our sponsors at manscaped.com. Use the code KOA. They get 20% off and free delivery. We'll be back next week for many more pods. Of course, look out for Game Day, Andy and Stu's Reacts. Follow the game with us on the East Anglian Daily Times website for Andy's player ratings reports, Stu's things. I'm going to shut up now because this is just ending as a ramble as the outro. But I hope you've enjoyed listening once again, and we'll be speaking to you all soon. Bye-bye for now.